you go, Fred. Are you ready? In today's video, we're going to be venturing into a different acre of this channel's 100 Acre Woods, what is probably our second favorite anchor, fun rimfire firearms. The firearm being featured in today's video is one that's been out for well over a decade now, but continues to keep on chugging along like the little 22 engine that could, the Ruger SR22. Before we dig into the numbers and features, let's first hit the range and see this fun firearm in action. Let's hit the range! We are out at the beautiful banner shooting range again today. We are going to be taking a look at a fun 22 pistol from Ruger, the SR22. This is a single action, double action, external hammer fire firearm. External hammer fire firearm. There we go. Let's put it through its paces here today. We might get a little bit of rain. Our first shots today will be with the staple gun. Wham! And look at that, it was most effective. Our targets are on paper. What we're gonna do today is, I have 2 magazines loaded with, I believe it is Federal Auto Match. I'm not 1,000% on that. They came preloaded from the crew. Once we fire those 2 magazines as a test on the firearm here today, I'll reload with some CCI mini mags. We will do a quick comparison against another 22 pistol that's popular today. Though for the most part today, we're only going to shoot the SR22 for the majority of the video, I would say. Here we go. Let's do these first 2 magazines. Middle target, middle bullseye on our left-hand target. Okay, here we go. Now this is single action, double action. So our first shot we can do with the hammer down. Okay, I don't like our challenge target's odds of staying unblemished at the end of today's video. Let's do our next 10. Here we go. Okay, let's try out the decocker. Okay, important safety note here is, and it might have been this way for a few years now, but there is an active recall on the SR22 below a certain serial number if you experience a certain failure type. One of those conditions, from what I understand, is the firearm might fire when the decocker is used. So, as with all things, don't rely 100% on safety features to do their job. Make sure your firearm is always pointed in a safe direction. Your finger's off the trigger. You don't use the trigger until you are ready to engage your target. You know what's behind your target, and all the other rules you're supposed to follow. Follow them when you're using the decocker too. Here we go. Safety works. Okay, so far, very good reliability. I would say the accuracy is a combination of me and probably the ammo, with the majority of that being me. Let's reload, and we will do our next one with some CCI mini mags. We'll also bring in a brief challenger, the Ruger LCP22. It's the LCP22, so that'll be in our next set. Let's reload, and then we'll get to that. We're going to begin the discussion today with a familiar starting point, the numbers. The Ruger SR22 is an external hammer-fired, single-action, double-action pistol chambered in .22 long rifle. It is 6.4 inches long, 4.9 inches high, 0.97 inches wide, and weighs in at a light 17.5 ounces unloaded. It has a 3.5-inch stainless steel barrel with an aluminum slide and polymer frame. The SR22 comes with adjustable and replaceable 3 white dot sights. The angles and ergonomics of the SR22 make it look a little smaller than it is, in my opinion. In pictures and even in person, looking at the firearm through the glass, the SR22 doesn't look much bigger than the LCP22 and 22, but it turns out it's quite a bit larger. For the 380 users in our user base, it turns out the SR22 is larger than the G42 and the P365 380. This deceptive size allows the SR22 to pack in some features that many features would desire in similar sized firearms. They include features like ambidextrous safety decocker and magazine release and forward slide serrations. It is not uncommon to have an external hammer on this size .22 pistol, and at this price point might be more common than not. But in center fire firearms this size, an external fire almost feels like a thing of the past. Many consumers would like them back, along with the single action, double action trigger that typically goes along with them. We'll come back to that a little more later during the trigger part of the video. There's going to be a healthy mix of talking points and range points in the video today. This is probably a good spot for our first range segment. Okay, one of our staples has come loose in our top left-hand target, so it won't affect us. Anyway, for our 2 magazines through the SR22, I will do the bottom left-hand corner of our left-hand target. We are going to also fire 2 magazines through our LCP22. I will do those 2 magazines at the center bullseye of the right-hand target. It looks like our cameras are rolling. Here we go, starting with our SR22, bottom left-hand target. This is CCI Mini Mag. I'm going to do all 20 shot. No, I take it back, I'm not. We're going to do the first shot double action because that's a feature of this firearm. Here we go. I think it's on the paper, a little high left, maybe. Okay, that's better. It's just me. This firearm is just on the edge of being thin. Long-time viewers of the channel will know what I say about that. little high all over the place with this ammo, but that's just me. Let's go to now an even thinner 22 firearm, the LCP 22, fresh out of a pocket. So from pocket to range, here we go. Middle bullseye, right hand target. Is our safety on? I always forget. Yep, okay. LCP2 out here representing the pocket class well. Hold one of those low. Rest of them pretty close to the bullseye. One almost dead center on the bullseye. Okay, here we go. Next 10. Okay, we're safely left of the target. Pulled another one exactly in the same low spot as before. LCP representing the pocket class well. Let's reload, and we will do two different kinds of ammo now out of our our SR22. It's just a quick ammo comparison. Now that we have the numbers and basic features out of the way, the rest of the talking points today we're going to structure as follows. We're going to talk about trigger talk, accuracy and reliability, easy rack light recoil, and finally, a conclusion. But before we get into any of that, let's start with safety. We're going to quickly discuss some safety features, but start with a note about a safety bulletin. Earlier this year in March, Ruger expanded a safety recall on the SR22. This recall potentially affects SR22s with serial numbers below 369-89043 or lower. There are two conditions you need to watch for to know if you're affected. 1, if it has exhibited or exhibits in the future a slack single action trigger, or 2, the firearm has discharges upon being decocked. If either of these happened, follow the directions on Ruger's website to have the pistol retrofit with the fix. Since we are on the topic of safety, let's briefly take a moment to look at the safety decocker on the SR22. The ambidextrous safety decocker on the SR22 is a thumb safety lever that you push up for fire and down for safety decock. When engaging the safety on the SR22, the decocker will decock the hammer. When the safety is engaged, the trigger is disengaged. Also of note here is the firearm has a magazine disconnect safety as well. When the magazine is removed, the trigger is also disengaged. Pulling it should do nothing. Speaking of triggers, this is a good spot to transition to trigger talk. But before we do, let's head back to the range for a little more footage of the SR22 in action. Okay, we are going to do 2 magazines of CCI Mini Mag. We'll use the top right-hand corner because we can pretty much see all of that one. I have to reload one of those magazines, and then we will do 2 magazines of the good ammo, which is Remington Thunderbolt, high velocity, 40 grain lead round nose ammunition. The mini mag is a 40 grain copper plated round nose, advertised velocity 1235 feet per second. The good ammo, Thunderbolt, advertised velocity 1255 feet per second. Theoretically 20 feet faster. We didn't bring chronograph to test that today, maybe another day, but let's do the, here we go, top right hand corner. We are going to do 2 magazines, CCI Mini Mag. Here we go. And I'm going to do all the shots single action, just so that way we have the best group possible for comparison. Here we go. If we even hit the paper. Maybe I should aim a little lower. Okay, I adjusted my aim point a little lower, so I'm about an inch below the bullseye aiming, and the group out there, I would say we have a pretty consistent group, a little to the right of the bullseye now. Here we go, next 10. That means I hit the staple. Okay, well, let's reload, and what I'll do is we will use the target on the right side, and we'll instead do 10 rounds to give us something to compare. Let's do top left-hand target on our right-hand target of the good ammo, the Remington Thunderbolt. Here we go.
With whiskey and weed and the secrets I keep to help me forget who I am. Needles in veins and cigarette stains, I roll like a train down the track. 'Cause when you're so far gone, you don't come back. Wanted to be good, and I thought I could, but it's hard to change. When I am restless and reckless,
A couple of those felt a little less oomph than the rest, but
and I swear
I think all 10 are on the paper.
I'm so hard.
Let's do our top right-hand target now. This is the CCI Mini Mag.
Or distraction from what I'm not. So it's whiskey and weed and the secrets I keep to help me forget who I am. Needles in veins
Those groups look fairly comparable. Let's reload real quick, and we'll do 10 more at the bottom corners of this target and see if we can settle things. Let's start with the mini mag this time, bottom right hand target. Probably our best group of the day with the mini mag. The bottom left hand corner, let's see if the Thunderbolt can come close. Here we go. That was me. Our first failure. Luckily, we were able to keep on trucking. First half of that was going really well. Second half of that one, not so much. In today's episode of Trigger Talk, we're setting our sights on the single action, double action trigger of the SR22. In my opinion, this is one of the nicer to have, underappreciated features on a rimfire pistol. The first thing thrown out in reply when someone thinks about carrying a 22 pistol for protection is something to the effect of, rimfire is irreliable. Unfortunately, it's true that, in general, compared to centerfire, rimfire is less reliable. It's the nature of the beast. Enter our external hammer-fired SR22. With a single-action, double-action pistol like the Ruger SR22, in the event you have a failure to fire, you have the option to pull the trigger again. More often than not, in my experience, a rimfire round will fire that didn't go bang the first time, bangs the second. Giggity. On pistols like the Ruger LCP-22, that's making a brief appearance today, that's not an option. As far as the characteristics of the trigger on our SR22 go, there is nothing to brag about on the trigger. On days where I shoot a ton of double action only revolver, then pick up the SR22, I think the double action trigger is pretty good. But then I have days like today where I shoot it against something like the LCP-22, and somehow I find myself longing for that secure action trigger I'm not a fan of. The double action trigger on the SR22 has very little take up on the trigger before it engages the inner workings, but from there, the length of the pull before the break feels very long and exaggerated to where it feels more like the double action only trigger on the original LCP than a double action to single action trigger on a center fire firearm. After that long pull, the break point is mushy and takes more effort to then get to the break. Two-handed shooting I can do okay with the double action trigger, but one-handed shooting, the combination of the long pull and then long, mushy, extra effort break cause me to break form and then come off target by the time that break happens. The single action trigger on our SR22 is better. There is a little bit more take up compared to the double action trigger, but the break point is better to get through, translating to better results on paper compared to when using the double action trigger. The results on paper is a good spot to segue to the accuracy and reliability portion of today's video. Before we do so, let's head back to the range. Okay, I have 2 more segments left planned to film for today's video. The first of them is going to be a one-handed shooting segment. What I'm going to do is I've set up 2 targets out there, 6-inch targets at 10 yards. We're going to do the right hand target with the right hand, left hand target with the left hand. 1 magazine of CCI Stinger, CCI Mini Mag at each one. Here we go. Right hand, right target first. We'll just do all, no. We're gonna do the first shot, double action, because that's a feature. Here we go. 10 shots right-handed, reload, transition to left-handed, 10 shots left-handed. We're mostly high and to the right. I think we might have 7 of 10. No, wait, I can see 2 in the top left-hand edge. So we have at least 9 of 10 on the paper, maybe 8 of 10 on the target. Let's see if our left-handed, shooting at our left-handed target now, how we can do. First shot will also be double action. Okay, that was bad. I want to do that again. That is a hard break point to get through on my left hand, one-handed. It like lasts forever. Got 1 touching the bullseye. I think we have 5 on the target, maybe 7 on the paper. Didn't feel as comfortable left-handed for some reason on that one. I think it's the break point seemed to last forever, which is giving me trouble. We're now going to briefly discuss the accuracy and reliability of the firearm. The Ruger SR22 has been an extremely reliable firearm for us. Some might say that's good given how much Thunderbolt the crew likes to shoot, but don't say that to the crew lest they consider that an insult to the good ammo. Even when shooting inexpensive ammo like the good ammo, as we saw on video today, the SR22 is probably more accurate than its user is capable of. For me, the mushiness of the brake on the trigger negatively affects my precision more than I'd like. The crew is going to counter that with some version of, I'm being a trigger snob. Maybe, but it is what it is. I brought along the LCP2 today, intending to be able to say something like, the better sight picture of the SR22 translated to better groups on paper. But in reality, that didn't happen today. The more well-defined and crisper brake of the secure action trigger on the LCP2 enabled me to maintain a steadier hold on the firearm, which translated to more precise groups on paper. This would be a good example of where bigger firearm with better sights doesn't always equal better end results. One area that does work in the Ruger SR22's favor for helping produce better groups is the low recoil nature of 22 long rifle. Like most 22s, the SR22 is very mild on recoil. To go along with the low recoil, the 22 recoil spring with a firearm of a subcompact, larger than pocket size class, and the slide of the SR22 is one that is very easy to operate. Being light racked and low recoil, for those who find even 380 too demanding a recoil, the SR22 could be a very attractive option. Before we get to the conclusion to yet another video, let's head back to the range one final time for the challenge target portion of today's video. In the uncomfortable humidity today, we are moving to the first half of our challenge segment. This is potentially a two-part challenge. It really depends on how the firearm does with the ammo on the first half. What we're going to do is we're going to fire 10 shots of each ammunition. 10 shots of CCI mini mag, 10 shots of Thunderbolt. I have little 3-inch, I think they're 3-inch, they might be 2.5-inch, we'll have to measure them, targets set up out there. They need to hit that target with each one shot to progress to part 2 of the day. Here we go, 10 shots CCI, Remington Thunderbolt, right-hand target. Let's see if we can hit it, and if so, how many times in 10 shots or less. Okay, I see multiple hits on the target. At least 5. I need to, next time I have these made, to see if I can pay a little extra and have them shoot and see the back. Get that Dirty Bird mixture on the back. Okay, this is CCI mini mag at our left-hand target. Here we go. Okay, there's definitely hits on that one too. 5 of them are a little high. The rest of them might be on the target. Okay, with both ammunitions, our SR22 was able to put hits on our stage 1 challenge target. And let's see how it does now against the 1-inch pasty dot. Theoretically, the dot, hopefully if I hit it, won't fall, because in addition to it being stuck to the board with the glue or whatever that comes, you know, like the sticky glue from the target heel, I also staple gunned it down as like a backup. So if I get a perfect shot, I guess, on the staple, we might knock it down. Here we go. Can we hit it in 10 shots or less with either ammo? Something flew out and landed on my finger and was burning my finger. I think I have at least 3 hits. We'll have to refer to... Okay, there are 3 hits, because conveniently I can count the ones that are not on there. 3 hits on the little sticky with the good ammo. The crew might be onto something here, I'm telling you. You guys all snicker when they call it the good ammo, and you roll your eyes and you're like, nah, it's not, it's junk. Let's see you hit a 1-inch sticky at 3 of 10 at 10 yards. With the good ammo, with some other ammo. Yeah, here we go. CCI Mini Mag. Okay, I think we didn't hit it. I think we have 2 that are danger close, but they didn't do it. I have 4 rounds of CCI Mini Mag left. Let's do it through the LCP22, the top left-hand sticky, and see if we can hit it with the pocket pistol. Here we go. Well, that answers that. First shot, literally yielded on the first shot. Yielding results completely unsurprising to the crew. The Ruger SR22 with its Thunderbolt ammo dominated the 1-inch dot challenge today, and dare I say it, smoked my favorite 22 ammo, the CCI Mini Mag. Sorry Mini Mag, holes on paper don't lie. In the conclusion of today's video, we're going to try to hit on some points that we haven't already covered, in addition to tying up some previously mentioned points into a nice bow to end today's presentation. One area where the Ruger SR22 is going to struggle with consumers today is price. To me, the SR22 is one of the few firearms not in the Ruger catalog that is what I'd call budget friendly. The $549 MSRP is very high. With the $399 to $449 price I typically see them at, still not that attractive to the wallet compared to some cheaper competitors with similar setups. Besides price, one very important thing sets the Ruger SR22 apart from many of its competitors. The SR22 is made by Ruger using quality materials. It is not something made by a BB gun company using a name and appearance licensed from a different firearms company. Around the same time we got this SR22, we also got a SIG Mosquito, which we later found out was made by GSG, not SIG. One of those firearms is still in excellent working condition and being featured in videos all these years later, while the other has never made an appearance on camera. I'll let you figure out why. Not to set up too many hurdles for the Ruger, but one other area hurting the SR22 today is in today's Ruger catalog, it almost feels out of place. For many other manufacturers, 22 trainer versions exist. They're 1911s, 92FS, Glocks, SIGs, Smith & Wesson Shields. They all have 22 trainers. The SR22 doesn't line up with anything in the Ruger catalog as a 22 trainer pistol. Years ago, it would have been a good one next to the P series, but the P series went the way the most of the SR series went, unfortunately. Let's hope the SR22 isn't next on the chopping block. It's not all doom and gloom for the Ruger SR22. Besides being a very fun, accurate, reliable plinker that many people will see as an excellent pistol for introducing new shooters to the sport, the SR22 can continue to carve out a place in an otherwise crowded 22 marketplace by continuing to cater to the light rack, low recoil enthusiast. Not that the Ruger SR22 needs a lifeline, but one thing that Ruger could do to help is by partnering with additional companies to make more holster options available. I know more than a few people who would throw a finger in the face of those who say 9mm or better and carry the SR22 if they could only find a holster they liked for it. The Uncle Mike holsters they have are great when trudging around the farm, but they want something a little more concealable for when they want to go plodding through the Apple store at the mall. The best, and certainly the strongest statement I can give, was saved for last. What firearm is your mom's favorite? My mom's favorite firearm is a Ruger SR22, very similar to this one. If you'd like to lose a shooting contest, challenge my mom to one. If you get lucky, you might get offered a fresh baked cookie to console yourself with after losing. I don't know about you, but they've always helped me. Well, anyway, my stomach says cookies sound like a good spot to end today's video. If you enjoyed the presentation, give it a like. It's free and greatly helps the channel. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good day. Frederick, we came prepared for this video. We brought you a whole bucket of Cheetos. What's that? Choritos of Landeritoville. Okay, Freddy, 2 toys and 2 Cheetos. Got 2 Cheetos and I made them crunchy for you. Let's go get you a pup cup. It's getting a little warm out. You know they like you down there.